Financial freedom in 12 months, the system wealthy people use. Your spending habits are not the problem. Your coffee is not the reason you cannot save money. Your lack of discipline is not why you feel stuck. The problem is simpler than you think. You have never been taught how to choreograph your money through time. This audiobook is for people who work hard, earn decent money, and still feel like they are running in place. If you are tired of advice that sounds good but changes nothing, keep listening. If you are ready to stop consuming information and start building systems, you are in the right place. This is not for people who want permission to stay comfortable. This is for people who want a concrete plan. Here is what we are going to do. I am going to show you a system called Money Choreography. It is a 12-month framework that maps exactly when your money moves, where it goes, and what it does for you at each stage of your life. By the end of this year, you will have a freedom number calculated, an emergency system built, and a clear path to walking away from work you hate. Later, I will give you the 2-minute version. That is the version you can start today, right now, without changing anything else in your life. No need to pause or take notes. There is a toolkit in the description with all the tools and a 7-day checklist. You can use it later. Let's start with why you feel stuck. The problem and the real cause. Picture this. You get paid on Friday. Saturday, you check your account. The number looks good. By Wednesday, you are anxious. By the next Thursday, you are doing math in your head at the grocery store. This is not because you are bad with money. This is because no one ever showed you how to pre-decide what your money does before it arrives. Most people manage money in real time. They see the balance, they make choices, they react. Wealthy people do the opposite. They choreograph their money in advance. They decide on a calm day, when they are thinking clearly, exactly what happens on payday. Then they build systems that execute the plan without requiring willpower. You know what kills wealth? Decision fatigue. Every time you look at your account and think, "Can I afford this?" you are spending energy. Every time you debate whether to transfer money to savings, you are using willpower. And willpower, as it turns out, is the only resource that gets weaker the more you use it. Wealthy people do not rely on willpower. They rely on choreography. Here is a real example. 2 people earn the same salary. Person A decides each month how much to save. Some months it is 10%, some months it is 2%, some months it is nothing because life happened. Person B set up a system one time, 5 years ago, that moves 15% of every paycheck into an account they do not look at. Person A has $8,000 saved. Person B has $67,000. Same income. Different system. The real cause of financial stress is not your spending. It is the absence of a pre-built system that removes decisions from your daily life. If you are driving or working out, just listen. The toolkit has the full steps. The framework, Money Choreography. Money Choreography is a 4-part system that tells your money exactly what to do, when to do it, and why it matters. Part 1 is called the Allocation Map. This is where you assign every dollar a job before it arrives. You are not budgeting in the traditional sense. You are not restricting yourself. You are pre-deciding. 50% to survival needs, 30% to quality of life, 20% to future freedom. We will adjust these ratios based on your situation, but the concept stays the same. Part 2 is the sequence protocol. This is the order in which money moves. Paychecks do not land in one place. They split automatically. The first 10% goes to a freedom account you cannot touch. The next chunk covers fixed costs. What is left becomes your spending zone. Sequence matters because it removes temptation. Part 3 is the freedom number. This is the amount of money you need invested to never rely on a paycheck again. We calculate it using a simple formula, and then we reverse engineer the monthly actions required to hit it in 12 months, 5 years, or 10 years. This is the number that changes everything. Part 4 is the safety net. This is 3 to 12 months of expenses sitting in a high-yield account, designed to buy you time when income stops. This is not an investment. This is insurance against chaos. These 4 parts work together. The allocation map tells you what to do. The sequence protocol tells you when. The freedom number tells you why. The safety net tells you how to survive while you build. If this is useful, subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. It helps more people find these audiobooks. Chapter 1: The Allocation Map. Let's build your allocation map. This is the system that assigns every dollar a role. Tool 1: The 50-30-20 split. Take your after-tax income. 50% goes to needs. This is rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments. These are things that keep you alive and employed. 30% goes to wants. This is dining out, travel, hobbies, entertainment, the things that make life worth living. 20% goes to freedom. This is savings, investing, extra debt payments, anything that buys you future options. When to use it? Use this split as your starting point. If you are new to managing money or if you are rebuilding after a financial reset, this is your baseline. Here is an example. You earn $5,000 per month after taxes. That means $2,500 to needs, $1,500 to wants, $1,000 to freedom. You look at your current spending and realize your needs are actually $3,200. This tells you something important. Your lifestyle is misaligned with your income. You have 3 options: increase income, decrease need-based costs, or accept that you cannot save until something changes. The 7-day experiment. For the next 7 days, track every purchase and label it need, want, or freedom. Do not change your behavior. Just observe. On day 7, add up each category and calculate the percentages. Compare them to 50-30-20. The gap between your current reality and the target is your roadmap. Common failure mode. People lie to themselves about what counts as a need. Streaming services are wants. The expensive gym membership is a want. The car payment on a vehicle that costs more than 10% of your income is a want disguised as a need. Fix. Be ruthlessly honest. If you could survive without it for 6 months during an emergency, it is a want. Tool 2: The Income Ladder Adjustment. The 50-30-20 split assumes a stable income and moderate cost of living. But if you are single and living in a low-cost area, your needs might only be 35% of income. If you have 3 kids and live in an expensive city, your needs might be 65%. The split adjusts based on your levers. Lever 1 is dependence. Single with no dependence? You can push needs down to 40% and freedom up to 25%. Head of household with kids? You will need 55% for needs and might only manage 15% for freedom. That is fine. The system flexes. Lever 2 is income stability. W-2 employee with steady paychecks? You can operate at the lower end of safety ranges. Freelancer or commission-based income? You need bigger buffers. Your freedom percentage stays the same, but your safety net has to be larger. Lever 3 is career stage. Entry-level job? Easier to replace, so you can take more risk. Senior role or specialized industry? Job searches take longer, so you need more reserves. When to use it? Use this tool when the standard 50-30-20 does not fit your reality. Adjust the percentages, but never eliminate the freedom category. Even if it is only 5%, it has to exist. Here is an example. You are a freelance designer. Some months you earn $3,000, some months you earn $8,000. You cannot use fixed percentages because your income bounces. Instead, you set a floor. Every month, no matter what you earn, $500 goes to freedom first. On high-income months, you add 20% of anything above $5,000. This creates a baseline with upside. The 7-day experiment. List every financial obligation you have. Rent, insurance, loan payments, childcare, everything. Add them up. Divide by your monthly income. That is your actual needs percentage. If it is over 60%, you have a structural problem that percentages cannot fix. You need to either increase income or decrease fixed costs. Common failure mode. People adjust the percentages to justify their current spending instead of using the percentages to identify problems. Fix. The percentages are a diagnostic tool, not a permission slip. If your needs are 70% of income, the issue is not the framework. The issue is that your lifestyle costs more than you can afford. Tool 3, the Discretionary Firewall. This tool separates your wants budget from everything else. Once your needs and freedom allocations are set, the remaining 30% goes into a separate account. This is your spending money. When it is gone, it is gone. When to use it? Use this immediately. The firewall prevents lifestyle creep and removes guilt from spending. Here is an example. You allocate $1,500 per month to wants. You open a separate checking account and nickname it Guilt-Free Zone. On payday, $1,500 moves there automatically. You spend from that account on anything you want. Dinner, clothes, concerts, subscriptions. When the balance hits zero, you stop. No borrowing from other categories. No credit cards. You wait until next payday. The 7-day experiment, open a second checking account. On your next payday, manually transfer your wants allocation into that account. For the next 7 days, only spend wants money from that account. Notice how it feels to have a hard boundary. Common failure mode. People raid the wants account early in the month and then feel deprived for the last 2 weeks. Fix. Divide the monthly wants budget by 4. Move that amount into the spending account weekly instead of monthly. Smaller amounts, more frequent replenishment, less chance of overspending. Quick recap. And remember, the toolkit is there so you can revisit this without rewinding. You now have 3 tools. The 50-30-20 split assigns every dollar a roll. The income ladder adjustment customizes the split for your situation. The discretionary firewall creates a boundary that prevents overspending without guilt. These tools remove decision-making from daily life. You decide once, the system executes forever. Chapter 2, the Sequence Protocol. Money choreography is not just about how much goes where. It is about when it moves and in what order. This chapter is about building the sequence that makes everything automatic. Tool 4, the Paycheck Portal Redirect. Most people have their paycheck deposited into one checking account. Then they manually move money to savings if they remember. This is backward. Wealthy people never see the money they are supposed to save. When to use it? Use this the day you finish listening to this audiobook. This is the highest leverage tool in the entire system. Here is how it works. Log into your workplace portal where your direct deposit information lives. Most portals let you split your paycheck across multiple accounts. Set it up so that 10% of every paycheck goes directly into a separate savings account. You can increase this percentage later, but start with 10%. The remaining 90% goes to your main checking account like normal. Here is an example. You earn $4,000 per month after taxes. You set up your paycheck to send $400 directly to a high-yield savings account at a different bank. The other $3,600 lands in your checking account. You never see the $400. It does not exist in your mental budget. Within 12 months, you have $4,800 saved without a single act of willpower. The 7-day experiment. Log into your workplace portal today. Find the direct deposit section. Add a second account. Set the split to 10% savings, 90% checking. If your portal does not allow splits, set up an automatic transfer from your bank for the day after payday. Same result. Common failure mode. People set up the split, then transfer money back out of savings when they want something. Fix. Use a savings account at a completely different bank with no debit card. Make it annoying to access. Add friction to stealing from yourself. Tool 5. The Freedom Fund Lockbox. The 10% you redirected is not for emergencies. It is for freedom. This money is not touched unless you are buying time away from work. This fund has one job: grow until it reaches your freedom number. When to use it? Use this once your emergency fund is fully built. If you do not have an emergency fund yet, the first $5,000 of your redirected paycheck money becomes your starter emergency fund. After that, it becomes your freedom fund. Here is an example. You have been redirecting 10% of your paycheck for 8 months. You have $3,200 saved. Your car breaks down. You do not touch this money. You use a credit card, then pay it off over 2 months from your wants budget. Why? Because the freedom fund is sacred. Protecting it teaches you to solve problems without raiding your future. The 7-day experiment. Open a high-yield savings account at an online bank. Name it Freedom Fund. Transfer your current savings into it if you already have an emergency fund. If not, name it Emergency Fund and commit to building it to $5,000 before renaming it. Common failure mode. People treat all savings as one bucket and pull from it whenever life gets expensive. Fix. Create separate accounts with separate purposes. Emergency Fund for chaos. Freedom Fund for buying your time back. Treat them as untouchable unless their specific purpose is triggered. Tool 6. The Expense Automation Sequence. Fixed costs should never require a decision. Rent, utilities, insurance, subscriptions, loan payments, automate everything. The sequence is simple. Paycheck arrives. Freedom Fund gets funded. Fixed costs get paid. What remains is yours. When to use it? Use this after you have redirected your paycheck and built your emergency fund. This is the final layer of automation. Here is how it works. List every fixed monthly expense. Set each one to auto-pay on the same day, 2 days after payday. This creates a predictable sequence. Paycheck lands on the 1st, Freedom Fund pulls 10% on the 1st, fixed costs pull their amounts on the 3rd. By the 4th, you know exactly how much is left for once. Here is an example. Payday is the 15th. Your Freedom Fund auto-transfer happens on the 15th. Your rent auto-pay is scheduled for the 17th. Your car payment is the 17th. Your insurance is the 17th. By the 18th, the remaining balance in your checking account is 100% available for once. No math required. The 7-day experiment. Make a list of every fixed expense. Log into each account and set up autopay for 2 days after your payday. If you get paid twice a month, pick the first payday and align everything to that date. Common failure mode. People autopay everything but do not check if they have enough money to cover it, leading to overdrafts. Fix. Add up all your fixed costs. Compare that total to your income. If fixed costs exceed 50% of income, you have a structural problem. You need to cut costs or increase income before automating. Chapter 3. The Freedom Number. This is the chapter that changes how you think about money. The Freedom Number is the amount of money you need invested to never depend on a paycheck again. Tool 7. The Freedom Number Formula. The formula is simple. Take your ideal annual spending and divide by 0.04. The result is your Freedom Number. When to use it? Use this right now, in your head. You do not need a calculator. You need honesty. Here is how it works. Close your eyes for a second and imagine your perfect year. You live where you want. You travel when you want. You help the people you love. You have no job. How much would that year cost you? Be realistic. Not frugal, not extravagant. Realistic. Let's say your number is $60,000. You divide $60,000 by 0.04. Your Freedom Number is $1,500,000. That is the amount you need invested. Why 0.04? Because 4% represents a conservative annual return you can expect from a mix of investments. If you have $1,500,000 invested and it earns 4% per year, that is $60,000. You can spend that $60,000 every year without ever touching the principal. Here is an example. Your ideal year costs $80,000. You divide by 0.04. Your Freedom Number is $2 million. That sounds impossible. It is not. If you invest $1,500 per month for 30 years at a 7% return, you will have $1,800,000. Adjust the monthly amount or the timeline, and you hit $2 million. The 7-day experiment. Spend 10 minutes today writing down what your perfect year looks like. Rent, food, travel, hobbies, helping family. Add it up. Divide by 0.04. Write that number on a sticky note and put it somewhere you see daily. That is your target. Common failure mode. People either lowball the number to make it feel achievable or they inflate it to justify giving up. Fix. Be honest. This is not a vision board. This is a financial target. It should feel big but not fictional. Tool 8. The Countdown Calendar. Once you have your Freedom Number, you reverse engineer the path to get there. This tool shows you exactly how much you need to save and invest each month to hit your target in 5, 10, or 20 years. When to use it? Use this immediately after calculating your freedom number. This turns a giant number into a monthly action. Here is how it works. Let's say your freedom number is $1,500,000 and you currently have $10,000 invested. You want to hit your number in 20 years. Assuming a 7% average annual return, you need to invest approximately $1,850 per month. If you want to hit it in 15 years, you need $3,100 per month. The timeline changes the monthly requirement. Here is an example. You are 30 years old. Your freedom number is $1,200,000. You have $5,000 saved. You want to retire at 50. That gives you 20 years. You plug those numbers into a compound interest calculator. The result: invest $1,500 per month at 7% annual returns. Suddenly, freedom is not a dream. It is $1,500 per month. The 7-day experiment: search for a compound interest calculator online. Enter your freedom number as the goal, your current savings as the starting amount, 7% as the annual return, and pick a timeline. The calculator will show you the monthly investment required. Write that number down. Common failure mode. People see the monthly number, panic because it is higher than they can currently afford, and quit. Fix. Start with what you can afford today, even if it is $200 per month. Run the calculator to see what timeline that amount supports. Then make a plan to increase the monthly amount over time as your income grows. Tool 9. The Income Climb Strategy. Most people assume their income will stay flat forever. Wealthy people assume their income will increase, and they plan for it. This tool maps out how to systematically increase the amount you invest as your income grows. When to use it? Use this once you have a baseline monthly investment amount. This is the tool that accelerates your timeline. Here is how it works. Every time you get a raise, a bonus, or a new income source, you split the increase. 50% goes to lifestyle, 50% goes to investments. This way, you enjoy the raise while also speeding up your path to freedom. Here is an example. You currently invest $1,000 per month. You get a $10,000 annual raise, which is about $625 per month after taxes. You increase your lifestyle spending by $312 per month and increase your investment by $313 per month. Your new investment amount is $1,313 per month. Over time, this compounds dramatically. The 7-day experiment. Think about the last time your income increased. Did you invest any of it, or did your lifestyle absorb 100% of the increase? Write down your plan for the next time your income goes up. Commit to the 50-50th split in advance. Common failure mode. People absorb 100% of raises into lifestyle and wonder why they never get ahead. Fix. Automate the investment increase the same day the raise takes effect. Do not give yourself time to adjust to the new lifestyle spending level. Midpoint recap. Let's pause and review. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are building a system. Here is what you have learned so far. Money choreography is a 4-part framework. The allocation map assigns every dollar a role using the 50-30-20 split, adjusted for your life. The sequence protocol automates the movement of money so you never rely on willpower. The freedom number is the amount you need invested to walk away from paychecks forever. The safety net is 3 to 12 months of expenses that buys you time during chaos. You have 9 tools so far. The 50-30-20 split. The income ladder adjustment. The discretionary firewall. The Paycheck Portal Redirect. The Freedom Fund Lockbox. The expense automation sequence. The freedom number formula. The countdown calendar. The income climb strategy. If you only do one thing, do this. Set up the Paycheck Portal Redirect today. Send 10% of every paycheck to a separate savings account. That one action will change your financial trajectory more than any other single decision. Now let's talk about what happens when life punches you in the face. Chapter 4. The Safety Net. The safety net is not optional. It is the infrastructure that keeps you alive while you build wealth. Tool 10. The Emergency Fund Calculator. This tool tells you exactly how much cash you need sitting in a high-yield savings account based on your life situation. When to use it? Use this before you invest a single dollar in the stock market. The emergency fund comes first. Here is how it works. Start with the baseline. Single person, stable W-2 job, no dependents, you need 3 months of expenses. Married or head of household, you need 6 months. Freelancer or variable income, you need 9 months. Senior level role or specialized career, you need 12 months. Now adjust for your levers. If you have a child with special needs who requires ongoing care, add 3 months. If your industry is volatile, add 3 months. If you are the sole earner in your household, add 3 months. If your job is easy to replace, subtract 1 month. Here is an example. You are single, work a stable marketing job, and your monthly expenses are $3,500. Baseline is 3 months. That is $10,500. But you work in tech, which has had layoffs recently, so you add 3 months. Your target emergency fund is $21,000. The 7-day experiment. Calculate your monthly expenses. Include rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, transportation, minimum debt payments. Multiply by your target number of months based on the levers above. That is your emergency fund goal. Write it down. Common failure mode. People either set the target too low because it feels overwhelming, or they never start because the number is too big. Fix. Build it in chunks. Your first goal is $1,000. Then $5,000. Then 1 month. Then 3 months. Celebrate each milestone. Tool 11. The Emergency Fund Staging System. The emergency fund is not one number. It is 3 tiers. Tier 1 is $1,000. This covers small emergencies like a car repair or a medical copay. Tier 2 is 1 month of expenses. This covers a short-term job loss or a surprise expense. Tier 3 is your full target of 3 to 12 months. This covers extended unemployment or a major life disruption. When to use it? Use this to avoid feeling paralyzed by a huge number. You build in stages. Here is how it works. You focus on Tier 1 first. You redirect 10% of your paycheck until you hit $1,000. This takes 2 to 4 months for most people. Once you hit Tier 1, you keep saving until you hit 1 month of expenses. This takes another 3 to 6 months. Once you hit Tier 2, you shift focus. You split your 10% redirect. Half continues building the emergency fund to Tier 3. Half starts going to investments. Here is an example. Your monthly expenses are $4,000. You save $400 per month. Month 3, you hit $1,000, Tier 1 complete. Month 13, you hit $4,000, Tier 2 complete. You now split the $400. $200 continues building your emergency fund toward $12,000. $200 starts going into a brokerage account for long-term investing. By month 33, you have a full emergency fund and $4,000 invested. The 7-day experiment. Identify which tier you are currently in. If you have less than $1,000 saved, your only goal for the next 90 days is hitting Tier 1. Ignore investing. Ignore everything else. Build the foundation. Common failure mode. People try to invest and build an emergency fund at the same time before they have Tier 1 secured. Fix. Sequential focus. Tier 1, then Tier 2, then split between Tier 3 and investing. Do not skip stages. Tool 12. The High Yield Savings Account Swap. Your emergency fund should not sit in a regular savings account earning 0.01% interest. It should sit in a high-yield savings account earning 4% or more. When to use it? Use this the same day you open your emergency fund. There is no reason to leave money in a low-interest account. Here is how it works. Search for high-yield savings accounts online. Look for accounts offering at least 4% annual percentage yield. Popular options include online-only banks because they have lower overhead costs and pass the savings to customers in the form of higher interest rates. Open an account, link it to your checking account, and transfer your emergency fund. Here is an example. You have $10,000 in a regular savings account earning 0.01% interest. That is $1 per year. You move it to a high-yield savings account earning 4.5%. That is $450 per year. Same money, same risk, $449 more per year. The 7-day experiment: Google best high-yield savings accounts and read reviews. Pick one with no fees, FDIC insurance, and at least 4% APY. Open the account. Transfer $100 to test it. Once you confirm it works, transfer the rest of your emergency fund. Common failure mode: people worry that high-yield accounts are risky or complicated. Fix: high-yield savings accounts at FDIC-insured banks are just as safe as regular savings accounts. The only difference is the interest rate. There is no catch. Chapter 5: The Investment Accelerator. Once your emergency fund is built, the next phase is investing. This is where your money starts working for you instead of you working for money. Tool 13: The Target Date Fund Shortcut. If you do not want to think about investing, this tool makes it effortless. A target date fund is a single investment that automatically adjusts based on when you plan to retire. When to use it: use this if you want a hands-off investment strategy. This is perfect for people who find investing overwhelming. Here is how it works. You calculate the year you turn 65. Round to the nearest year ending in 5 or 0. Then you pick a target date retirement fund with that year in the name. For example, if you are 30 years old in 2026, you will turn 65 in 2061. You round to 2060. You invest in Vanguard Target Retirement 2060 Fund. Done. The fund automatically invests in a mix of stocks and bonds. When you are young, it holds more stocks for growth. As you get closer to retirement, it shifts to more bonds for stability. You never have to rebalance or make decisions. You just keep adding money. Here is an example. You open a brokerage account. You set up automatic monthly contributions of $500. You invest 100% of that $500 into a target date fund. Every month, $500 goes in. The fund does the rest. In 30 years, assuming 7% average returns, you have over $600,000. The 7-day experiment: open a brokerage account at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Calculate your target retirement year. Search for a target date fund with that year. Set up a $50 automatic monthly contribution to test the system. Once you see how easy it is, increase the amount. Common failure mode: people overthink investing and never start. Fix: a target date fund is designed for people who do not want to become experts. Pick one, contribute monthly, ignore the noise. Tool 14: The Roth Conversion Window. Many people do not realize that retirement accounts come in two tax flavors. Traditional accounts are taxed when you withdraw. Roth accounts are taxed when you contribute but grow tax-free forever. The Roth conversion window is a strategy to move money from traditional to Roth during low-income years. When to use it: use this if you have money in a traditional retirement account and you expect to be in a higher tax bracket in the future. Here is how it works. Let's say you have $20,000 in a traditional account. You are currently in the 12% tax bracket. You convert $10,000 from traditional to Roth. You pay taxes on that $10,000 at your current 12% rate. That $10,000 then grows tax-free forever. When you withdraw it in retirement, you pay zero taxes, even if you are in the 32% bracket. Here is an example. You are 28 years old, between jobs, and your income this year will be low. You have $15,000 in a traditional account from a previous employer. You convert the entire $15,000 to a Roth account. You pay about $1,800 in taxes now. 30 years later, that $15,000 has grown to $120,000. You withdraw it tax-free. The 7-day experiment: check if you have any old retirement accounts from previous employers. If you do, research Roth conversions. Run the numbers to see if converting makes sense based on your current tax bracket. Common failure mode: people avoid Roth conversions because they do not want to pay taxes now. Fix: paying a 12% tax rate now to avoid a 32% rate later is a trade worth making. Run the math. Tool 15: The Boring Business Allocation. This tool is about diversifying beyond traditional stocks and bonds. Boring businesses, laundromats, car washes, vending machines, small service companies, generate cash flow and build equity outside the stock market. When to use it? Use this once you have maximized retirement account contributions and still have money left to invest. This is an advanced tool for people who want ownership, not just market exposure. Here is how it works. You allocate a portion of your investable capital to buying or investing in small, unglamorous businesses that produce consistent cash flow. These businesses are not sexy. They will never go viral. But they generate profit every month and build equity over time. Here is an example. You have $30,000 saved beyond your emergency fund and retirement contributions. You use $25,000 as a down payment to buy a small vending machine route. The route generates $800 per month in profit. You reinvest that profit to buy more machines. Within 3 years, you own 15 machines generating $2,400 per month. You now have a cash-flowing asset that you own. The 7-day experiment. Research one type of boring business that interests you. Laundromats, ATMs, car washes, storage units. Spend 30 minutes reading about how people buy and operate them. Just learn. You do not have to buy anything yet. Common failure mode. People think they need $500,000 to buy a business. Fix. Many small businesses sell for $20,000 to $100,000. Others allow you to invest as a minority partner. Ownership is more accessible than you think. The 7-day Rewire Plan and Checklist. Now let's put everything together into a 7-day plan you can start immediately. Day 1. Calculate your freedom number. Spend 10 minutes imagining your ideal year. Write down what it would cost. Divide by 0.04. Write that number on a sticky note. Time required, 10 minutes. Day 2. Set up the Paycheck Portal Redirect. Log into your workplace portal. Add a second account for direct deposit. Set the split to 10% savings, 90% checking. If your portal does not allow this, set up an automatic transfer at your bank. Time required, 15 minutes. Day 3. Open a high-yield savings account. Search for options offering at least 4% APY. Open the account. Link it to your checking account. Transfer your current savings. Time required, 20 minutes. Day 4. Calculate your emergency fund target. Add up your monthly expenses. Multiply by 3, 6, 9, or 12 based on your levers. Write down the target. Identify which tier you are currently in. Time required, 15 minutes. Day 5. Automate one fixed expense. Pick your largest fixed monthly cost. Set it to autopay 2 days after payday. Time required, 5 minutes. Day 6. Open a brokerage account. Go to Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Open an account. Calculate your target retirement year. Find the matching target date fund. Set up a $50 automatic monthly contribution. Time required, 25 minutes. Day 7. Build your allocation map. Track every dollar you spend today. Label each expense as need, want, or freedom. At the end of the day, calculate what percentage of your income goes to each category. Compare to 50-30-20. Identify the gap. Time required, 10 minutes. This is exactly what the toolkit is for. So keep listening now, then use the checklist later when you are at your desk. Let me give you the 2-minute version now. This is what you do today if you do nothing else. Step 1. Log into your workplace portal and redirect 10% of your paycheck to a separate savings account. Step 2. Write down your ideal annual spending and divide by 0.04. That is your freedom number. Step 3. Open a high-yield savings account and transfer your current savings into it. Step 4. Set up one autopay for your largest fixed expense. Step 5. Track your spending for 24 hours and calculate your actual need, want, freedom percentages. That is it. 5 actions. You can complete them in under 2 hours total. If you do these 5 things, you will have built the foundation of money choreography. Closing summary. Let's bring it home. Here is what you learned. Money choreography is a system that removes decision-making from your financial life. You pre-decide what your money does, you automate the sequence, and you protect the system with a safety net. The allocation map assigns every dollar a role using the 50-30-20 framework, adjusted for your life. The sequence protocol automates the movement of money so you never rely on willpower. The freedom number is the amount you need invested to walk away from paychecks, calculated by dividing your ideal annual spending by 0.04. The safety net is 3 to 12 months of expenses in a high-yield account that buys you time during chaos. You have 15 tools. The 50-30-20 split. The income ladder adjustment. The discretionary firewall. The Paycheck Portal Redirect. The Freedom Fund Lockbox. The expense automation sequence. The freedom number formula. The countdown calendar. The income climb strategy. The emergency fund calculator. The emergency fund staging system. The high-yield savings account swap. The target date fund shortcut. The Roth conversion window. The boring business allocation. Your concrete next step for today: set up the Paycheck Portal Redirect. This is the single action that will change your trajectory. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. And check out the free toolkit in the description so you don't have to take notes. And share this with one friend who feels stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Once they build their money choreography system, they will stop reacting to money and start controlling it.